Hi, friends. Welcome. Oh, good to be here with you. Let's take some time to settle, gently bringing some interest to the posture of the body. Maybe it wants to be a little more upright, a little more stable. Soles of the feet, the floor, hands resting on the legs or in the lap, depending on how you're arranged right now and what's stabilizing for you. Maybe the shoulders want to drop at ease. Maybe the chin comes toward the chest somewhat, easing the back of the neck. Maybe there's some muscles somewhere in the body that respond to the invitation of ease, in the jaw or the eyes, a little bit of softening, or in the shoulders or the belly, a little bit of, oh yeah, oh, just loosen, even fractionally. Maybe the mind wants to rest on one particular region of your experience. Sensations of breathing, maybe, or something else. Either way, connecting with the simplicity of just one thing for now. Achat sha'alti, just one thing I ask, as King David says. How about just one thing for now? There'll be lots in the background, no doubt, but how about just giving your attention one thing to turn towards, one thing to keep coming back to as we arrive and settle together? Knowing that you can come back to this anchoring simplicity of practice at any point, always available, just this, Zot. As we begin to turn towards our Hitbonenut practice, a way of cultivating love and awe of and for the divine. We practice Hitbonenut in order to see, to find ways of seeing how the divine shines through the many different faces of beauty and wonder in the world. And as we turn to nature and pay attention to her, we learn more and more of the different qualities, the different faces of the divine. And today, our attention is turned towards sand. I invite you to bring to mind some image of sand. It might be visually in your mind's eye. It might be more of a felt sense of being at the beach or in the desert. It might be a memory, it might be more imaginal, the riverbed, the seabed. inviting one or two moments or one or two images to get a little more vivid here with you now. A sense of what you might be smelling or hearing in the company of sound, the textures, the atmosphere, the light, leaving the door open for the mind to feel its way in. One of the things that strikes me first in contemplating sand is just how much of it there is. So many grains, innumerable, essentially infinite, more than I can conceive, this magnitude of creation. When I reflect on how many grains of sand there must be throughout the world, I'm reminded of just how much larger reality is than I can know, perhaps than I can imagine. I wonder if you feel the space here in the vastness, more than I can wrap my head around. And each grain of sand, individually, a product of natural forces working over centuries, hundreds of years, formed by waves and winds and geological shifts, moved by the moon through the tides. Perhaps you're struck here by the patience of creation, the long arc of deep time, that there's something unfolding slowly, slowly, precisely and powerfully, of which the sand is a powerful reminder. How is it to rest in an awareness of the long arc of deep time? You may know that Abraham, our forefather, is told by the divine that his descendants will be kachol al safat hayam, like sand on the seashore, on the lip of the sea, literally. So we too, Abraham's descendants, like the sand, products of the centuries, formed, evolved, one generation at a time, one moment at a time, slowly, slowly, precisely and powerfully, up to this point and beyond. Participants like the sand in the mysterious unfolding of creation. And much of this divine unfolding is preserved by the sand as fossil and ancient artifact. The sand is impressed upon. The sand receives and remembers. This sense in which creation has a memory points to the memory of the divine, in which we are each, you and me, all of us, held and cherished. Can you sense yourself as fully seen, imprinted in the divine, eternally, lovingly? And yet, at the same time as it preserves and remembers, the sand is always changing, fleeting, moved by the winds, taking one shape and then another, just as we are moved by the divine wind, the Ruach HaKodesh, remembering and evolving, honoring the past, carrying it with us, and forming something new. I wonder if you feel in some way this flow of remembering and evolving, like the sand, receiving and then acting, being imprinted on and then taking a step, both. And how would it be to live with this background recognition that behind the pressures and urgencies of daily life, there is something unfolding on a much larger scale than we can know. Just as there are more grains of sand than we can conceive, formed in vaster stretches of time than we can imagine. So, in the same way, we are participating in life, but not controlling it, seeing some but not all, contributing what we can, which is not to be underestimated, while at the same time we are alongside so many other grains of sand, so much more besides. If we lived with this background recognition, if it was here for us, would we breathe a little more softly, act more humbly, love more gratefully? Maybe there's a specific part of your life, a relationship or a regular situation where you'd like to recall this vastness a bit more often, this combination of memory and flow, where you'd like to have this greater divine context more present for you, closer to hand as you engage. Maybe there's something that comes to mind as a kavanah, as an intention, that you're offering these insights and contemplations to a certain part of your life, a certain part of yourself. May you come back to me here in this situation with this person or this pattern. And as we come toward the end of our Hitbonenut practice, I invite you to take 3 conscious breaths, something I'm doing spontaneously through my day, just 3 conscious breaths. temporarily but fully giving all my attention to this breath right here and now. Nishmat Chayim, the breath of life. Thank you so much for your practice. Really wishing you well.